Whenever I hear that popular phrase, Naija no dey carry last, I answer very quietly in my head, but Naija fit dey carry first. By consistently repeating Naija no dey carry last, have we unconsciously normalized mediocrity?
On this episode of Business Insight, Austin talks about the power of language and how certain popular phrases shape our mindset, ambitions, and culture.
Japa, Japada, Naija no dey carry last. We have to be very careful about language use that comes out in cliches. Any messaging that you put out and you enforce it becomes accepted. And if it's accepted for a very long time, becomes the norm. What are the drivers that will shift us from Naija no dey carry last to Naija fit dey carry first? King Charles III used the popular Nigerian pidgin phrase, Naija no dey carry last, at a state banquet at the Windsor Castle on March 18, 2026. He was honoring Nigerian President Bola Tinubu and the immense contributions of Nigerians in the UK. Whenever I hear that popular phrase, Naija no dey carry last, I answer very quietly in my head, but Naija fit dey carry first. There are many Nigerians at home and in the diaspora who have distinguished themselves and come at the top of whatever they're doing, whether in academia, whether in sports, in the sciences. Just to name a few, Chinua Achebe, the Nobel laureates, Professor Wole Soyinka, we have Tobi Amusan in hurdles, we have heavyweight boxing champion Anthony Joshua, and it goes on and on and on. By consistently repeating the catchphrase, Naija no dey carry last, have we unconsciously normalized mediocrity? I suspect that the original intention of Naija no dey carry last, from the root of that pidgin language, which is around the Warri area, is really to say that you can't catch the Nigerian, which means he will always escape. And if you look at the context of a movie, the blowman, which is the main actor in our local parlance, always escapes. So it connotes something positive. But if you now bring it down to the generation of today, who are not all from that area, that context may be lost on them. And what then they hear, which is reinforced anytime they hear it, is just avoid the last position. I believe that language is culture, a major part of culture, and the way we use language impacts behavior. So let's take, for instance, Japa. The use of that language, Japa, and the way it's being normalized seems to suggest that the way to measure that you have arrived is if you are successfully able to migrate out of Nigeria. I have Japad. So it becomes like a trophy. But what we do not interrogate is Japa to what? What were you doing in Nigeria or in Africa? And what are you now doing after your Japa? So you find people that have drops in the middle management cadre, and because of the pressure of Japa, just a local slang to say I've emigrated, there's a pressure that to say I've also arrived, I need to do the same, leave and go somewhere, usually to the Western countries. And then you arrive at the airport, you take pictures of yourself and say, I've made it, thank God. You go to church and give testimony and thanksgiving. What is the achievement? So what about the people that were born there? All of them should be in church doing thanksgiving. And the negative part of it is that it puts a lot of pressure. People sell property, cars, they go there, and they have now downgraded their job. They were managers, logistics, tech, and so on. And then they are now doing either healthcare if they can find it, or probably security guard. So why are we painting that as a success story? And I'm not generalizing. Every story is personal. I've seen people who have gone and done so well for themselves. Maybe they wouldn't have been able to achieve that much if they were here. But the majority, or a big number, also go there, sacrificing what they have and achieve much less. So language is very powerful, and we should be very careful of how we use language. Now there's the language called Japada, which means I emigrated and have returned. You find people are now Japada, whether they have achieved why they went in the first place or not, just to say me to have Japada. And that follow the crowd mentality. It's not everybody that is strong mentally to know what they want to do and at what point and what they need to sacrifice to do it. I feel that we have to recognize the power of language as part of the culture. I feel that society is evolving and things are contextualized. So some language structures, which in the past would have been appropriate, may not be appropriate in today's world. And we have to look at those nuances. So there is a certain language in Nigeria politics which can be toxic. Take the ballot, seize the ballot, run with the ballot. It's not intended to be literal, but people take it literally. And so politicians now are motivated to win at all costs. Get a group of agberos, just carry the ballot, seize the ballot, run with it. At the end of the day, is the result that matters. Declare yourself the winner. And if everybody is doing that, can you imagine how the ballot will go? Because if you can do it, it means I can also do it. Then we have chaos. Then we might as well not do elections. Is that the society we want for ourselves? What are the drivers that will shift us from Naija know they carry last to Naija fit they carry first? I think it's about the messaging and the reinforcement of that message. Any messaging that you put out and you enforce it becomes accepted. And if it's accepted for a very long time, becomes the norm. Over years, the norm becomes the culture. We have to be very careful about language use that comes out in cliches like Naija no dey carry last, like Japa, like Japada, and any such language. Let's be reinforcing in our language. If you say Naija fit dey carry first, I don't mind that cliche because it connotes striving to achieve at the top. So I remember when we were young people in school, some of our very ambitious mothers for us will say, what was your position? And you say, oh, I was third. And they will say, but Ronald, who was first, does he have two heads? The intention being, you can also be first. Why not try? Even though I feel that it pushes the child to be quite stressed if it's not the first. The intention behind it is to say, strive to be at the top. Very different in contrast to the intention of avoid being at the bottom. I feel that whenever we hear that phrase, Naija no dey carry last, we should answer loudly and boldly and robustly, Naija fit dey carry first. So it becomes a phrase of two sides, like a genuine coin that has two sides. Somebody greets you, Naija no dey carry last. The response should be, but Naija fit dey carry first. Now what that does is that it switches our mind from a mindset of avoiding the last position to a mindset of striving to be among the top position, which we have proven time and again that we're capable of achieving. So as a popular television series used to say, mind your language.